please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers" of video came at 2:17 a.m. No text, no missed call, just a single file in our old chat thread, the one filled with grocery lists, selfies, heart emojis, and "I'm on my way home." The thumbnail was black. The caption underneath, it was one word: goodbye. My hand started shaking before I even pressed play. For a second, I thought it was a joke, a cruel one. We'd had our share of dark humor lately, but something about the silence in the room felt wrong. Heavy, like the air knew something I didn't. I tapped the screen. He was sitting in our car, the same silver sedan we bought the year we got married. The interior light was on, casting shadows under his eyes. He looked older, tired in a way I hadn't noticed before. "If you're watching this," he said quietly, "it means I've finally stopped pretending." My throat closed. "I know," he continued. "I've known for months." That's when the floor disappeared beneath me. I used to think I was careful. That's the lie I told myself. It started small. A co-worker who stayed late like I did. Someone who laughed at my complaints about bills and routine, and how marriage sometimes feels like living the same Tuesday over and over again. It wasn't supposed to become anything. Just text at first. Inside jokes. A little thrill when my phone buzzed during dinner. I told myself it was harmless, that I deserved to feel seen. But harmless things don't require you to tilt your screen away from your husband. Harmless things don't make you mute notifications. He didn't accuse me at first. That's what makes it worse. He just asked gentle questions. "Who's been texting you so late? Why are you smiling at your phone? Are you okay? You seem distant." I'd laugh it off. Tell him he was imagining things. Blame stress. Blame hormones. Blame him for being insecure. God, I hate that word now. The first time I crossed the line physically, I cried in the shower afterward, not because I regretted it, but because I knew I should. I looked at myself in the mirror and whispered, "It's just once." It wasn't. In the video, he rubbed his face slowly like he hadn't slept. "I kept thinking," he said, staring somewhere past the camera, "that if I loved you better, you wouldn't need anyone else." That sentence cracked something inside me. He thought it was his fault. He thought my betrayal was a reflection of his failure. I paused the video, gasping for breath. My chest felt tight, like someone had wrapped wire around it. Memories started rearranging themselves in my mind. The night he brought home my favorite dessert for no reason. The weekend he suggested a getaway, and I said I was too busy, because I already had plans with someone else. The way he'd reach for my hand in bed, and I pretend to be asleep. All those small rejections, they weren't small to him. He found out the way most truths come out accidentally. I had left my phone on the kitchen counter. I'd gone upstairs to shower. I remember humming to myself. When I came back down, he was sitting at the table. Still, my phone was in front of him. The screen was dark, but I knew from the way his shoulders looked, collapsed inward, like a building that had just given up. "How long?" he asked. Not angry, not yelling, just broken. I opened my mouth and nothing came out. That silence was my confession. In the video, his voice trembled for the first time. "I read everything," he said. "The jokes, the pictures, the things you said about me." My stomach turned. I had vented to my lover about my husband, called him boring, predictable, too soft. The man who worked overtime to pay off our debts. The man who learned to cook because I once mentioned I was tired of doing it alone. The man who looked at me like I was still the girl he married. "I kept watching you," he continued, swallowing hard, "waiting for you to choose me again." Tears blurred my vision. He gave me chances I didn't even see. I thought I was being clever, managing two lives. But the truth is, he was standing in the ruins of ours, hoping I'd notice the smoke. The confrontation that night was quiet. He didn't scream, didn't throw anything. "Do you love him?" he asked. I hesitated. That hesitation was louder than any answer. He closed his eyes like he'd just been punched. "I never stopped loving you," he said, "even when I started hating myself." I wanted to say sorry. I wanted to rewind time. But apologies feel cheap when trust is already dead. He packed a bag that night. I remember standing in the doorway, arms wrapped around myself, watching him fold his shirts. The same hands that used to hold me were now methodically removing themselves from my life. Please, I whispered, but I didn't even know what I was asking for. Forgiveness? Another chance? Permission to keep hurting him? He stopped at the door. I hope he makes you happy, he said softly, because I gave you everything I had. Then he left. I thought that was the end, but the video proved it wasn't. He pressed his lips together, fighting emotion. I'm not sending this to make you feel guilty, he said. I'm sending it because I need to let you go. And I can't do that while you still think I didn't know. He looked directly into the camera then. I knew every time you lied. I knew when you stopped kissing me like you meant it. I knew when I became the backup plan. Each word landed like a stone. But I stayed, he whispered, because loving you was the only thing I was good at. I broke down completely then, sobbing in the dark, alone in the house we once filled with laughter. I deserve better, he said finally. And so do you? Just not with me anymore. He reached forward, and for a second I thought he might turn the camera off. Instead, he gave one small, sad smile. Goodbye. The screen went black. I tried calling him immediately, straight to voicemail. I drove to his brother's house. He wasn't there. I checked his office. Empty desk. Resignation letter submitted. He had planned his exit quietly. The way he endured my betrayal, silently. Days passed before I heard from him again. A simple message through a lawyer. Divorce papers. No insults. No revenge. Just closure. The other man? He faded quickly. Without the secrecy, without the stolen moments, it lost its spark. What felt exciting in the shadows looked ordinary in daylight. But my marriage, what I destroyed, that was extraordinary. And I didn't see it until it was gone. It's been a year now. Sometimes I still replay that video, not to torture myself, but to remember. I learned something brutal and simple. Betrayal doesn't begin with cheating. It begins with small choices, small distances, small lies you convince yourself don't matter. They do. I was unfaithful, not just in body, but in loyalty, in kindness, in gratitude. He didn't leave because he stopped loving me. He left because he finally started loving himself. And that's the part that hurts the most. If you're listening to this and you're standing at the edge of a bad decision, thinking no one will know, understand something. They might know, and even if they don't, you will. And one day, you might open your phone in the middle of the night and see a single word that changes everything. Goodbye. Trust me, some endings don't come with screaming, just a quiet video, and a love you didn't protect.